Hello, everyone, and welcome to my AEW Fighter Fest Night 1 review. So, we started off Fighter Fest with John Moxley defending the IWGP US title against Carl Anderson. I gotta say, this match, all it did was just reinforce my idea that I want a Carl Anderson singles run. Because he was so good in this match. And you never really got to see it in WWE because he was with Gallows the whole time. And even then they just never let the two of them shine apart from they're just AJ's slash Finn Balor's friends. So I'm really glad that now they're getting a chance to like kind of be their own people and do what they want. Um and Anderson was great in this match, man. Like I was blown away by how much I actually liked him in this match. If he could break away from Luke Gallows, I'm all for it. I really am. Uh, Also, Moxie came out to Wild Thing again, which I want to talk about because that's a very divisive thing. Some people like it, some people don't. I like it if it's with a crowd. That's where I stand. Like hearing the crowd say Wild Thing, I'm fine with that. But if it's like I do like his old theme. Don't get me wrong, his old theme was really cool. But Wild Thing I'm fine with if it's for a crowd. But these two, they just had a great match. The match started with Eddie Kingston having a metal pipe, and he beat up Luke Gallows, and the two of them brawled backstage. So they weren't a factor in this match, which was great because we didn't need them to distract us or to interfere in this match with Mox and Anderson. It was a great match. I really enjoyed it, really fast pace. Um, the ending was really cool. So Anderson went up top and he jumped off the top rope to hit a cutter, but Mox caught him and then put him in the paradigm shift and won. Like I said, this was just a fast-paced, quick match. Didn't go too long, but didn't overstay its welcome. But it got us excited and got us ready to start the show. And it was great to see Moxley back, who's been gone since Double or Nothing, I believe. So it was great to see him back. And after the match, Lance Archer and Jake Roberts, they're in like I don't know, a container or something. Those guys hang out in a bunch of weird places. They go to like abandoned houses and fields and beat up midgets and stuff like that. Um, but Lance Archer challenged Moxley to a match next week for his IWGP US title, and I'm like, oh, okay, so we're getting a rematch against them. And he alluded to, Mox took the belt off him in Japan. Then Mox beat him for the AEW title last year. So we're going for the third one now. And he also said that since next week's in Texas, we're going to have a Texas death match. So he challenged Mox to that. And, of course, later on, Mox would go on to accept. So we're getting a Texas death match for the IWGP US title next week. I'm really looking forward to that one. Then we had Andrade El Idolo cut a promo with Alex Abrahantes, who had a really cool hat on. I gotta say, I really like his hat. I want his hat. Um, but Andrade said to Alex, he's like, I'm wondering where's the Death Triangle. So he told Alex, 'cause he knows Alex and Penta are boys, and he told them, you give them a message that I'm looking for him. So we're getting something with Andrade and Death Triangle? I'm there. I'd love to see Andrade fight Pac, Andrade fight Phoenix, Andrade fight Penta. Andrade fighting all three of them would just be great. So I can't wait for this, man. He got me intrigued. Um, then we had Brian Cage fight Ricky Skaggs for the FTW Championship. So this feud is obviously it's been building for weeks at this point, man. Everyone's wondering what's gonna happen between these two. Taz, Team Taz. This has been building since I want to say like just a bit before Double or Nothing or at Double or Nothing, right? So it's cool to finally get the payoff to it. But when Ricky came out, man, the crowd was unanimously on his side, which makes me so happy to see that Ricky's like over with the fans. And it made me remember that he debuted during pandemic era, like right at the beginning of the pandemic era. So he's never really gotten a chance to perform in front of fans. So that was really cool. I get to see him do that, and I'm so happy that they are like they're cool with him essentially. Um, but this match was also just off the walls, insane. Ricky hit Brian Cage with a freaking sit out power bomb. Like, dude, what the hell? Um, but near the end of the match, Ricky was going to hit Brian Cage the FTW title, and Powerhouse Hobbs stopped him. Went, no, man, you don't need to do it. You don't need to do it. Um, and then later, Hook is distracting the ref. Brian Cage gets thrown into the ropes near Powerhouse Hobbs, and Powerhouse Hobbs hits him with the belt. Ricky spears Brian Cage, and we got a new FTW champion. And Taz was really happy on commentary, which just confirmed the fact that this was all conspiracy against Brian Cage. They booted him out now, so Ricky is now the new FTW champion. Brian Cage is kicked out of Team Taz. So where we go from here, I don't know. I don't know if we're just gonna end it here and Brian Cage becomes a face on his own, or if we're gonna continue this feud going into All Out. I don't know. I guess I'd be kind of fine if they continued it, but also if they ended it and everyone just moves on to something else, I think would also be fine. Cody Rhodes then cut a promo, pretty much telling Malachi Black to get on out here. Malachi Black showed up on the screen. He had the glasses that he used to wear from the Dark Father. And he told the story about, like, this guy killing his horse because his horse didn't have the same passion it did when he looked at it in its eyes. And he said that that's what he saw with Cody. Cody pretty much told him to get in the ring. Blackout. Lights come back on. He's in the ring. He and Cody have a pull-apart brawl. And that's pretty much it. Wasn't too much to this, but the crowd was really into it. So that, there's that. Yeah, this wasn't much. There really wasn't much to this other than what I just said. It was just a tiny little thing to keep this feud going. Hangman Page then came out, and he started to, he was officially going to challenge Kenny for the belt. But then Don Callis came out, and he came out with the Bucks, with the Good Brothers, with Kenny. Matt Jackson got in the ring, and I was really happy because I knew Adam Page was just going to clock him in the face. That's a match I want to see, is Matt Jackson versus Adam Page, especially considering that during the feud the Bucks had with Kenny and Hangman last year, that Matt was kind of the instigator with Hangman Page. So seeing them get in the ring now, I was like, oh yeah, here we go. And Matt told Hangman, he's like, you don't have the balls to hit me, and Hangman just straight up punched him. The Dark Order came out as Hangman was about to get ambushed by the Elite. They backed him up. Hangman said, said he wants his match against Kenny. Kenny's like, well, I'll do you one better. Kenny goes, how about 5 of you in the Dark Order faces me and the Elite in a 5-on-5 elimination match. So pretty much just Survivor Series style match. Hangman said that's fine, but when the Dark Order and he win, the Dark Order get a tag title shot against the Bucks, and Hangman gets his world title shot against Kenny. Kenny goes, that's fine, but when the Elite win, none of you get a title shot. And Hangman accepted. So that I thought was going to happen next week, but they didn't announce it. So I guess maybe Fight for the Fallen is when it's going to happen. But I'm looking forward to that. Obviously, Hangman and Dark Order are probably going to win. But still, it's going to be a really fun match. I'm really looking forward to it. Chris Jericho then had a promo with Alex Morvez, and he got ambushed by MJF and Shawn Spears. MJF pretty much told Jericho, he's like, next week you're going to have your first Labor of Jericho, and it's going to be against Shawn Spears. The stipulation being Shawn can use chairs, but Jericho can't. because he's the chairman. So that's next week. That'll be fine. Jericho's obviously winning this. He's not losing the first challenge. But yeah, Jericho's easily gonna win this. And then we had Matt Hardy versus Christian Cage. Yeah, these guys they did put on a fine match. Definitely comparing it to the Brian Cage, Ricky Skaggs, and Moxley and Anderson match. It wasn't on that level of good, but it was just fine. The ending was a bit iffy, where Christian did like the whole barely beat the 10 count, and then he immediately hits the Unprettier and wins. It was a bit weird finish, but it was a solid fine match on the whole, man. Ends this feud. And now we can hopefully begin the Christian Cage heel turn, because that's what I want so badly now. I want him to turn on Jungle Boy. Him and Jungle Boy have a match at All Out. Christian beats him, and we go from there. And just Christian goes on this undefeated heel run. That's what I need. Miro cut like a short little hype package, little promo here. But he showed off. The big thing about this was he showed off he has a new TNT title. It's a white strap, and the part that says champion is green now. So that's like really, I actually pretty like the new belt. It doesn't look too bad. He also mentioned in his promo that he thanks God the fact that his wife's hot and flexible. So that's my man. Britt Baker cut a promo on Nyla Rose. Really good promo. It was just hyping up their match for next week. She pretty much told Nyla that you need this belt to stay relevant, but I don't, because even without it, I'm still Dr. Britt Baker, D. Sammy Guevara fought Wheeler Yuta. Now, I actually knew Wheeler Yuta way before this, and it's always really cool to see people who like, finally get their shot on, like, the big stage, because I knew Wheeler Yuta from Ring of Honor, because he was there, for, like, a bit of, like, last year, so I already knew him, and then I saw him on Elevation. I'm like, oh, cool, Wheeler Yuta's with them, and then he was on Dark, and now he's here, so it's really cool to see Wheeler Yuta here on AEW, man. He was in their Pure tournament as well for Ring of Honor. I think that's when I first saw him, and then he started showing up, like, a couple times on their show. So it was really cool to see him. This was pretty much just a Sammy Guevara showcase match. Yuta got a couple stuff in, but not a lot. It was mainly Sammy, and it was fine. Then we had a Penelope Ford fight Yuka Sakazaki. I was super happy to see Yuka. This match wasn't anything. It was just a fine, normal match. Yuka wins. Thank goodness. So happy to see Yuka Sakazaki, man. I love Yuka Sakazaki. And then our main Darby Allin, Ethan Page Coffin match. They brought out the coffin with ominous music. I immediately went, someone's in the coffin. Ethan Page came out. Darby Allin came out. They brawled for a bit, and then Darby was getting ready to open up the coffin, and Scorpio Sky was in the coffin. And they had flowers in the coffin, and I noticed Scorpio Sky had one of the flowers in his mouth and spit it at Darby. That just rules. I thought Sting was in the coffin, but it wasn't. It was Scorpio. Sting did come out, and he and Scorpio brawled into the crowd. Sting went for a Stinger Splash onto like the barricade, but Scorpio moved. They're like in the crowd by this point. Scorpio stands up on like the barrier, like a barricade, and then Sting pulls him, and he just lands like nuts first onto the barricade, and that must have sucked. Ethan Page and Darby. Ethan Page he takes off the bottom rope, like the entire bottom rope is gone now. He then nails Darby with like I guess like it's like the bottom turnbuckle, and he hits him with like the metal part of it. Darby then because it's like a hook, he hooks it into Ethan Page's mouth, which was horrifying. Ethan Page, I can't believe they actually did this spot, man. Ethan Page then hits the Ego's Edge off the top rope onto some steps, and Darby just bounces off those steps. And I always question why Darby Allin hates himself. Ethan and Darby then fought into the casket. Darby then hit Ethan with a baseball slide drop kick to knock him into the casket, and he wins. Darby Allin obviously wins the Coffin match. As he's celebrating, he then climbs to the top rope and hits a Coffin drop onto the Coffin and just breaks the whole thing. What a great way to end the show, man. It was a really fun show. I really liked the show, man. Road Rager was great, and this followed up Road Rager. I'm excited for night 2, which, speaking of night 2, I think let's talk about the card. So far, I believe we only have 4 matches confirmed for night 2. I could be wrong, but that's what I have here. 4 matches for night 2. So if I'm wrong, please don't yell at me and kill me. I'm just going off what I have here. And so far, I got 4 matches. So we have the Jon Moxley versus Lance Archer Texas Death Match for the IWGP US title, which I'm really looking forward to. That's going to be awesome. Britt Baker defends the women's title against Nyla Rose. We have Chris Jericho versus Shawn Spears with the first labor of Jericho. And Orange Cassidy goes up against The Blade. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to pretty much all those matches. So, yeah, and they're probably going to add matches like the day of anyway. So, yeah, but that's it. That's it for my AEW Fyter Fest Night 1 2021 review. If I had to rate it out of 10, I believe I gave Road Rager an 8. I would also give this an 8. It was just a solid, fun show. So, thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share the video with family and friends, and I will see you all next time.